Hello, I'm Nicholas Gonda, and I'm here to talk to you about Mark Pauline and the Survival Research Laboratory. Now, who are they? Now, they're an artist group that creates these robots and other mechanical machines that are made to destroy. And that's the main idea, but let's get into who these people are. Who's Mark Pauline, perhaps? Well, Mark Pauline started the Survival Research Laboratory in 1978, and it's been going strong for 46 years. Mark himself was born in 1953 and received his bachelor's from Eckerd College. And he got his start in punk beginnings, making art from defacing billboards around the city, which led his teachers to go to him and talk to him and say how he shouldn't be doing that because it's illegal, and he hated that, and he wanted to create stuff that was going against the grain, more or less. Well, this led him to steal materials from these industrial areas that he was exploring around the area in his life. He actually used these stolen materials to create the mechanical monsters for his creations. The creations of this Survival Research Laboratory machines made to destroy, as I said before, there are massive whirring blades and motors, plumes of flame spewing from perfectly crafted mouths, all to create a cacophony of metal. The machines put on a performance and practice dance of destruction. For example, one of their earliest works, Machine Sex, was a machine that was a conveyor belt going into a massive spinning blades, and it was described as a demanufacturing machine. And during its performance, it took in 8 dead pigeons dressed in Arab doll costumes while playing the song very loudly, Killed by an Arab, and it violently and destructively eviscerated the bodies of the pigeons into a blender of blades, spitting them out into mangled corpses. Now, this isn't too strange for him because he actually killed these pigeons himself using a slingshot in the abandoned warehouse in which the performance happened, giving death and life all in the same place, and how the destruction, how humans destroy and how machines destroy and how machines made by humans are made to destroy. And he would go further into using animals in his work, using dead pig carcasses or even dead cat carcasses covering an entire work. But Mark likes to see his work as a way of sticking it to the man, an act of rebellion, creating an edgy art in order to invoke emotions closely tied to destruction and death, and most of all, fear. Fear is a big aspect of what Mark Pauline is trying to create in his work, and these emotions are tied to how humans react to the world. Now, the creations of the Survival Research Laboratory have also been said to invoke the feelings of great fear due to the amount of force and strength of the machines actually carry. Their ease of destruction and the you see a moving, fast, spinning blade, you're gonna get scared, honestly. And that inspiration of fear is what Mark wants to use to not only inspire the fear of machines, but to inspire you to go and work on create visceral emotions from other people using your works. Now, I've mostly talked about the machines that put on performances made by the Survival Research Laboratory, and then, however, they do exhibit pieces of these performance machines before and after the shows in exhibitions and gallery settings. They don't sell them, however, because a lot of the times it's using military-grade tech and other heavy industrial materials that are just dangerous to have in the wrong hands. Mark has said that he has not made any profit off of the work he has created, even after starting a company to allow him to get the materials no longer stolen, and instead he's just asking the companies for the materials, and which is honestly a lot easier. And since Mark has not made any money, that's actually along with his goals, as the 2 goals he's always wanted with machines was that they never made a profit for anyone and they never hurt anyone. Now, he can't actually control whether they hurt people, but they're not intended to, and that's really the main idea. And honestly, it's a noble goal to not want to have to make money off your art. And it allows me to think about my art in a way to create just for the sake of creation. But now we can get more into my thoughts onto the matter. So when I first looked into this group of artists, what really stood out to me was the fact that they were creating these massive mechanical mechanisms, and I was quite intrigued by animatronic puppetry, and I'm honestly obsessed with animatronics throughout my whole life, and this was just the excuse to talk about it. But as I looked more into it, the more excited I got as using the machines to clash with one another and just create an amount of destruction and a performance, and really gets into the thrash metal scene and noise metal scene. In fact, there is this one Japanese band, I can't remember the genre or the name of the band, but they would destroy things as part of their show, and I've always been interested in it. And one show, they even famously used a bulldozer into the venue hall and bulldozed the building while people were in it. It was very dangerous. They shouldn't have done it. But this gives me the same vibe, and because it's creating an industrial destruction through an audio and physical element using performance and clashing of metal. The destruction of the machines evoke elements of how humans want to destroy, yet this one's counter to how Mark wanted to create the machines, as he said that none of the machines were used to hurt people. And the class of those ideas of machines that people have and how they can be used, as Mark has a very optimistic idea of how machines should be used, is kind of poetic in a way. It's sort of self-fulfilling prophecy that machines that are meant to destroy things or are only meant to be destroyed by the other machines that Mark has created. It's quite nice in a way. And after seeing the work and what it is and what it does, I not only understand it, but I embrace it. This is honestly amazing work. The punk vibe, along with the goals of Mark and the Survival Research Laboratory, both speak to me and push me to put it more in my work, seeing it that it was received well. You know, mostly. Aside from the animal carcasses and questionable design choices. As time has gone on from the beginning of Mark's career, he seems to have mellowed out, even though it may not seem like it, as the works have been made in the past to be more of inflammatory in their influence, such as the machine sex. Like, there was a few that were similar in their political messaging, and they were kind of got mixed in how they were talked about. And I think that Mark didn't quite know how to dictate what he was trying to say. But now the machine aspect and the performance aspect are more about creating destruction of other machines and the act of the destruction rather than a more political version of the statement, which creates a more succinct piece, but relies on you not thinking about the implications of the piece. Yet Mark is still going strong, successfully crafting a scene for himself and others in a path of destruction in order to inspire people to their dreams.